Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Welcome to another exciting episode of the EntreMusician. This is the space where we concentrate on the mindset, the discipline, and the focus of the EntreMusician. And this episode, absolutely no exception. As you know, one of the threads we've been weaving through these podcasts this year is exposing and abolishing fear. And we have touched on so many different aspects that EntreMusicians struggle with on the subject of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of collaboration, fear of being yourself. All of these things that tend to, I don't want to use the word plague us, but plagues us, definitely becomes major distractions for us. And it was our hope that when we started this series back in March or April, I can't even remember, we just began talking about it. And here's one of the reasons why, is because that's all we heard and that's all we continue to hear in the media. And that's just really on point. The mainstream media is truly driving this point home of fear of each other, fear of being out in public, fear of touching or connecting with someone because that person could be a potential threat to you. And we just hear all of this. And it really, if you have struggled with fear in the past, even before we entered into this 2021 dynamic, and you know what I'm talking about. But before we even entered that, if you were a person who had some phobias, they were exacerbated during this time that we've been walking through. So we thought, as EntreMusicians, here's what we're going to do. We're going to expose it. We're going to abolish it. And we've even created some dynamics to working with you directly online so that you can overcome the struggles that you may have. And there are a myriad of struggles that a person can have with fear. And we just wanted to expose it first, because once you expose it, once it comes crawling out of the dark corner that it's been hiding in, you find that you can define what it is, and then you can overcome it, you can abolish it. And we've been successful in doing that. So we're going to continue on with this particular episode. Now, you may ask why it is that, for those of you who are watching me, that I have a suit on today. And it's really interesting because several days ago, I recorded an episode, an EntreMusician Minute episode, where I was just coming back from 2 funerals. And I said that there were more funerals on the day that I recorded that, which was a Tuesday. And there were more funerals coming up in the course of that week, which definitely happened. And I figured I'd put the suit back on as a statement that, yes, now in 3 weeks' time, there's been 13 funerals. Yeah, 13 funerals had the count, and that's no disrespect to any family member, because several of those funerals I officiated as an associate pastor, or I had to participate in some kind of way, ministering to the family, either prior to the service, after the service, or during the service. So with respect to that, that's my day job, I should say, but it's also a calling because I'm an associate pastor at my church, Victory Christian Center, Coatesville campus, and been there for 16 years. And the EntreMusician, as you know, of course, if you follow it, but for those of you who may not follow this podcast often, that's what I do. I have 3 legs that I stand on. They all begin with M: my marriage, my music, and my ministry. Sometimes not in that order because I'm devoting more toward one in that particular week or season than I am to the other. But those are the 3 legs that I really stand on. So with respect, going back to the point now, since I've digressed, with respect to the mindset of having to be at so many different funerals and so many different dynamics of how a person passes away, and coming to grips on a daily basis with how short life is. One of the phobias that I think we should talk about today and take a look at and expose and subsequently overcome is the fear of getting started. This tactic of how do I want to drill this in? This tactic of culture that really success is for the young, and after a certain age, I don't know, whatever that age is, 30, 40, 50, 60, definitely if you're 75 or older, you shouldn't even think about getting started in the music industry. There is no place for you. There is no hope for you. In many respects, you should consider yourself to be washed up and just a dreamer whose the window of opportunity has closed on you. Now, I want to be perfectly honest with you with respect to the amount of procrastination that you may do. There may be some truth to that. Well, because, timing in the music industry, timing in entertainment is everything. And that's whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera. There are times where you just miss the moment, or you miss the opportunity, or you miss the season. Yes, all of those things are true. And I'm enough of a realist to understand that. But I am also enough of a realist to say that whatever time that you start, whatever time that you choose to begin your journey, whatever age or season of life that you're in, is always the right time. And you should never be afraid to put your best foot forward and begin that new project, begin that new season or that new opportunity, just because something may have passed you by. Whatever that dream was, whatever that goal was, whatever the understanding of that project may have been, and you may have missed out, it doesn't mean that you don't get up 5, 10, 15 years later and say, you know what, there's still breath in my body, there's still blood flowing through my veins. And so, yeah, I'm definitely, absolutely going to make it happen. Because once again, going back to culture, the world at large, the industry, especially the entertainment industry, says, okay, well, that's it. You shouldn't be starting this project at 65. You shouldn't be auditioning for this part, of course, if it's acting. You understand what I'm saying? But, if you want to put a band together at 65, you're going to have people who may frown upon that, maybe even prominent people. But I am telling you today, you should not be afraid to start where you are. I'm telling you that today. You should not be afraid to start where you are. Let me say it again. I'm telling you today, you should not be afraid to start where you are, because wherever you are is the place you should begin. That's it. Okay, Bob Proctor says this all the time, especially in terms of financial decisions. He says, you don't need any money to make the decision. You just have to make the decision. And when you make the decision, you'll find that the money comes. Well, I'll say that to those of you who are sporting gray hair like I am sporting. You would be surprised at the millionaires that have started their careers after the age of 50. I mean, come on. Of course, Colonel Sanders always jumps up number one. He's the first one we think about. I think he started the Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise at the age of 64. Someone can correct me on that, but I think so. Definitely Henry Ford, the famous Henry Ford started the Ford Motor Company after he was 50 years old. Ray Kroc, who started the McDonald's franchise. Judge Judy, we didn't hear about her until she was well into her 50s, and boom, blew up. There are many, many people who have become millionaires, who have become household names. Wally Amos, famous Amos cookies. And I could go on. So you, my friend, should not be afraid to be who you are, where you are, and do what you have to do to make it. because as long as, again, you have breath in your body, as long as you have the energy that is needed to make it happen, don't let society tell you that you can't because time has passed you by. That is absolutely false. It is not the truth. And if you, my friend, are cowering in fear, because that's it, because with that particular fear comes regret. And there's nothing like regret. Man, there's nothing like getting to the end of your life. Now, of course, life is, and death is unexpected at times. There are, with the funerals that I have been in with these past 3 weeks, there are a couple of them which were unexpected. They were just right out of the blue. Boom, this happened. But in several of them, there was an illness. There was a length of time. There was a diagnosis. And it's really, really hard to be in a situation where now you are sick and you are ill and you don't have your health and you are at the end of your life because of the diagnosis or because of the treatments and whatnot. And you have that lingering regret. I should have done this. I should have gone here. I should have went there. I should have acted upon the impulse to do this. And what could have come out of that? I mean, those are real live experiences that I've shared with those who are in their latter stages of life. And it's awful because it doesn't have to be. So if you're out there and you're listening to this or you're watching this and you're over the age, let's say over the age of 50, because that's where I am. I'm excited about the future. Now, again, the future belongs to God, and I don't know when he's going to call me home. It could be just like that. It could be unexpectedly. This could be my last video. I'm just trying to be straight up with you wholeheartedly. It could be. But you know what? If it is, I don't have any regrets, because by God's grace, everything that I've tried to do, and there's been many things that I've tried to do and I failed at them. Hear that. But by God's grace, I've tried them, I've attempted them, and I can look back in the rearview mirror of my life and I have no regrets, because I'm grateful that when the impulse came, I was able to have the conversation with several people who believed in the same thing, and we were able to make it happen. Some went further than others. There are songs that really just boom, blew up. I'm grateful that I have a top 20 Billboard hit under the name of Sound Doctrine, the band that we put together. Thank God for those things. And then there's been things that have bombed, but it's okay. I had a lot of fun along the way, and I wasn't afraid to do it, even though, the industry says you're too old. Go sit down somewhere. But I'm not like that. And that's why I'm trying to encourage you. I hope you hear that. I hope you hear my heart. I'm trying to encourage you. Don't be afraid, my brother, my sister, to make it happen. Don't be afraid to get up and put those plans together and then implement the plans you put together, because it's time. It's time. It's time. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you can breathe on it and see the frost, see the steam coming from your mouth on the mirror, you're good. It's good. It's all good. Don't be afraid. Okay? Listen, my name is Jerry B. I'm the EntreMusician, and so are you. I want you to like, subscribe, share this video, share this podcast. Thank you for those of you who continue to help support keeping the EntreMusician on the air and online and on Roku. I want to thank Tay Brown at Visual Dramatics. I want to thank, Greg Roton at Armstrong Cable. I want to thank you for being a subscriber to the EntreMusician. If you're not a subscriber to the EntreMusician, you can do so very easily by going to theentremusician.com, clicking on the Backstage Pass, and you'll find there are 4 tiers of engagement. There's the fan, there's the follower, there's the friend, and there's the family member. Each tier gets you more and more engagement and exposure and advice and counsel and help and one-on-one coaching and everything that you need to get the mindset, discipline, and focus of an entre musician so that your career can get off the ground. Okay? We want it off the ground. All right? We want it in the air. We want you soaring. We want you flying. And we can help you do that. Once again, my name is Jerry B. I am the entre musician, but here's the most important thing. So are you. And we will see you again next time. God bless. Did I say we'll see you again next time? Well, I meant that I hope we do. Because we're talking about how short life is and just being a realist. We want to see you again next time. God bless. Have a great day.